Hello everybody, this is Noodle Thumb, bringing you another installment in what I'm beginning to call the Of Course That's What They Mean series. Today I'm going to demonstrate with a BKS PZ88, nicely engraved from Decoder. This was a double euro. As you can see, it's now 2 half euros. And I have pulled out the core already and made this collar, which I'll show you in a minute. But the topic today is picking around warding versus picking through, and to show you why a person would do one versus the other, I'm going to use this lock. It's a nice lock to demonstrate this concept for a couple reasons. One is it's got this big fat piece of warding in the middle of the lock, and the pins go through that warding. So you have choices. You can either pick from the bottom of the keyway like this, or you can pick around the warding like this. And I, being a visual learner, haven't seen a good visualization of how one works versus the other, so I figured I would be the one to bring it to the community. So what I've done, I've got the core here, and I've made this wire collar to simulate the lock body, which will prevent you from picking like this. You got to go in the bottom of the keyway, and so it'll limit kind of the range of motion of the picks. I'm holding it carefully because I've got the key pin still in there, and you can see the warding through the bottom of the plug and the holes in it. So your pick has to come this way, go into a hole in the warding, up and around like that for each pin. And it's got to do that deeply enough to set the pin, to lift it to shear, and then it's got to be able to do it without coming out of the lock body like that. So you've got the choice to go through warding like I just demonstrated, or you can also go around warding, which is like this. And you can pick up the pins with your twisting motion. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate. Again, the way that looks from the keyway is this. And you're moving the whole pick. With some more flexible ones, you can keep it kind of down, and you can just lever it up, and the pick will actually bend around. It's not my favorite. Probably some more experienced pickers will tell you that it's absolutely necessary in some cases. I'm not there yet. So I'm going to zoom in. And hopefully this will be a good visual demonstration of what I mean. So one might think, let's start with a deep hook, right? Looking at the key, there's a big step, a big difference between this pin 3 right here, which is a shallow lift, and pin 5, which is pretty deep, pretty high lift. Pin 2, of course, is mostly max lift, but I don't have a huge step from one pin to the next. That's going to be an impediment. But again, one might say, let's try a deep hook here. Well, let's see what happens. Picking through the warding, so on the bottom of the keyway, pin 1, great. Pin 2, already some trouble there. We're probably not going to be able to lift it. 3 is fine. 4 is fine. 5, again, just not going to be able to lift it. And again, this is a pretty deep hook there. Any deeper and you're not going to be able to get it all the way to the back of the keyway. The warding is just too close at the bottom of the lock. See, I'm already having to angle. Oh, there we go. I'm already having to angle my pick. If it's straight on, it hits that warding. So I'm already having to angle it to get to pin 1, pin 2, pin 3 I can get to, pin 4 I have to push and kind of worm my way. So a deeper hook is not your answer there. We can do a shallower hook. This is a pretty shallow hook. And pick around the warding. Let's give that a try. So we're going to go in still, at the bottom of the keyway, but then we're going to do that twisting motion to pick up the pins. So pin 1, great. Now I'm searching for the nose of pin 2. Good. Next one, pin 3, so I push it back, and then see my pick is still kind of in the middle of the keyway now. Pin 3 is fine, and I have to set that down and go way down for pin 4. And I launched it. This is why I clean off the table between videos. This is not a feature that I anticipated when I started making this video, but that's part of the fun of this, right? Unexpected complications. So 3 is fine. Pin 4, searching, trying to maneuver my pick down and catch the nose of pin 4. There we go. So I've got it. And again, I'm trying to pick around the warding because I know this hook is not long enough to reach up through it. There we go. So pin 4 to shear. And then pin 5, this was the one we could not get with that deep hook. Again, I'm in the middle of the keyway now with the pick, and I'm kind of twisting it to lift. You'll notice I'm still lifting 4, right? The shaft of the pick is still impinging on 4. And I thought I might overlift 3 with this, with this shallow hook. It's actually, if you use like a medium hook, it's easier to lift your back pins without lifting your middle pins. But I think with this short hook in this particular case, we'll still be fine. So 4, and there's 5 to shear. And again, see, I'm here in the middle of the keyway. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to adjust the vise to show you, but there, folks, is an example, a visual demonstration of how sometimes a short hook picking around the warding on a keyway can be more effective than trying to use a deep hook going through the warding. Thank you all. You have a good time, and I hope you learned something today.